You know what is crazy? Most people in the military don't actually know how the top 1% of service members think about money. And I am not talking about rank or pay grade. I'm talking about mindset. Because the truth is, we all get the same uniform, the same paycheck dates, the same 1st and 15th. But the difference between the broke E6 and the one building wealth is not luck. It is about how they think about money. Listen to this game. I used to be that guy working 3 jobs, Uber, pizzeria, retirement home, grinding just to survive. I was chasing cash every single day, thinking that if I just work more hours, I would make it. But I did not realize that I was playing the wrong game. I was trading time for money instead of learning how to make money work for me. See, rich people, and I'm not just talking about millionaires, I'm talking about smart soldiers, smart veterans. They think about money completely different. They don't see money as something to spend. They see it as something to multiply. And once I learned that, everything changed. Let me break it down for you. There are 5 mindset shifts that separate broke service members from the top 1%. And I am going to give you free game on all 5. Not from theory, but from experience. From being that dude who drove Uber 24 hours straight to the one who now works at Microsoft making multiple 6 figures a year, still getting VA compensation every single month and investing every dollar smart. So let's start with the first one, because this right here is what changed everything for me. The first mindset shift is understanding assets versus liabilities. If you don't know the difference, you will work your whole life and never get ahead. It is simple. An asset puts money in your pocket. A liability takes money out. Most soldiers and veterans don't think like that. They buy stuff just to feel good. New car, new iPhone, new shoes, all liabilities because they're taking money out of your pocket. All things that make you look rich but keep you broke. When I started my IT job back then, the one I told you about, the tiny company with 2 rooms and 3 people that I told you about in another video, I was making around $12 an hour. I thought I was winning because I was working in tech, but I was broke. You know why? Because every dollar I got, I spent it. I bought a used Mazda for $1,500 at that time and it broke down every month. Then I got tired of fixing it and took a loan to buy a new Honda Accord. I told myself it is an investment, but no, it was a liability. Even though I still have that car until today, that car was taking money out of my pocket every single month. Gas, insurance, maintenance, loan payments. And I learned the hard way that buying things that don't make you money keeps you stuck. Listen to this. When I joined the US military, the US Army, that is when I first started to see real assets. Because for the first time, I had housing covered, healthcare covered, education paid for. That meant I could finally use my money to buy freedom, not things. That is what the 1% of soldiers understand. They use the system to create assets that pay them for life. My VA disability today, that is an asset. My GI Bill, asset. My degrees, asset. Every single one of those things put money in my pocket. Not once, but for years. See, when you start seeing your benefits as assets, you stop wasting them. You stop saying, I will file later or I will use it one day, because one day never comes for most people. The top 1% soldiers, they maximize everything. They use tuition assistance while in. They use the GI Bill after they get out. They file for VA compensation early. They invest their money and they build wealth because they understand what the system was designed to help you if you know how to use it. Let me tell you the second mindset shift, understanding the value of your time. When I was driving Uber, I thought I was making money, fast money. $500 in a day felt good, but when I sat down and did the math, I realized I was making $9 an hour after gas, maintenance, and insurance. Numbers don't lie. I was just working hard, not working smart. The top 1% service members don't waste time chasing overtime or side hustles that drain them. They build systems. They make money while they sleep. And you can do that too, even with military benefits. Let me give you an example. When you are in the military, the US military, you get tuition assistance, around $4,000 or $5,000 a year to take college classes. That is free money, but most people ignore it. They wait until the ETS to start studying and they waste years. The smart ones use tuition assistance while they are in. They stack their credits, finish the bachelor degree, and then when they leave, they use the GI Bill now for the master's degree. That is the move, because While you are in, you are already getting BAH probably if you live off base. So if you use your GI Bill at the same time, you cannot double dip. You won't get paid twice for housing. That is why I tell people, use tuition assistance in the military, especially if you are getting BAH. Save your GI Bill for later. Now, let me give you even a bigger game. When you leave the US military and you start using your GI Bill, you can go to school full-time online and still work a full-time job. That is what I did. I was working in government IT full-time while doing University of Maryland online. It was not hard. I just had to manage my time. Classes were once a week. The rest was on my schedule. And while I was studying, I was still getting paid every single month from the GI Bill. Rent money directly to my pocket. And guess what? They don't ask for receipts. You can live with family, rent a cheap room, and keep the rest in your pocket. That is how you build wealth. And you use that money for saving, for investment. You use every system that exists to create leverage. The third mindset shift is moving from scarcity to abundance. When I first came to the US, I had a scarcity mindset. I thought money was harder to get, so I held on to it tight. But holding money does not make you rich. Making it grow does. When I finally joined the US Army, that is when I learned that abundance is about opportunity, not fear. Because let's be real, most immigrants come here in USA and they work 2-3 jobs, just like I did. Uber, warehouse, restaurant, breeding, and so on. And they repeat it. You make money, but you are not moving. And every day you come home tired, too tired to think about your future because you just want to relax and sleep. That is scarcity. The top 1% service members think differently. They see opportunity everywhere, even in the military system. They say, how can I use these to build wealth? Not how can I just survive? Abundance is knowing that you can multiply what you have already. It is knowing that if you file your VA claim right, learn the benefits, and invest your time wisely, you will never be broke again. That is abundance. And listen, the military gives you more abundance than you realize. Free healthcare, free training, free education, free housing. Those are worth thousands of dollars every single month. Most civilians pay for all of that out of pocket. So when you are in, don't complain about the paycheck. Add up the full value of what you are getting. It is a lot. If you do the math, you will see that your total package is worth way more than what you think. Mindset shift number 4. Stop spending, start investing. And I am not just talking about stocks or crypto. I'm talking about how you think about every dollar. When you spend, you are consuming, right? When you invest, you are planting. You don't have to invest a lot, but you have to start somewhere. I started small. I was still in the military, still learning how to manage my money. Every time I got paid, I made sure a piece of it went to something that could grow, whether it was savings, a course, or a certification. That is how I went from CCNA to cybersecurity to software engineer. Every course I took was an investment in myself, and now I'm working for Microsoft, making almost $300,000 a year. That did not happen overnight. It happened because I treated education like wealth. Here is something else the top 1% soldiers do. They know how to ask. They ask for discounts, benefits, everything. I do it all the time. You will be surprised how many companies give veteran discounts. Apple, Tesla, Home Depot, Lowe's, all of them. Apple has a special veteran store link where you can get 10% off anything. Tesla gives you $1,000 off. It is all there, but people don't ask. The top 1% do. They never leave money on the table. And finally, the 5th mindset, long-term thinking. That is one that changed my life forever. Because when I was driving Uber, I was thinking day to day. How much can I make today? That was I was thinking about. When I joined the US Army, I started thinking year to year. And now I think generation to generation. That is the difference. When you think long term, you stop chasing fast money. You start building systems. You use the GI Bill not just for a degree, but for leverage. You use your VA rating not just for compensation, but for freedom. You invest not for this month, but for your kids and your future kids. The ones not even born yet, who can still go to school for free because of your 100% rating. That is long-term thinking. That is wealth. I'm telling you, this is not theory. This is real life. I live it. I'm living it right now. From Uber to IT to the Army to Microsoft, every step was connected by mindset because I stopped thinking like someone trying to survive and started thinking like someone building wealth. I stopped asking, what can I afford today? And start asking, what can I build for tomorrow? So here is the truth. The top 1% of service members are not special. They are just disciplined. They understand the system. They don't waste time or benefit. They don't let fear or laziness stop them. They file, they learn, they invest, and they grow. So let me ask you, how are you thinking about money right now? Are you still chasing cash, or are you building assets? Are you wasting time, or are you creating leverage? Because the difference between broke and free is one decision and one mindset shift. Listen to me, this is free game. If you are serious about building something real, financial freedom, peace of mind, and stability, then join my school community called Military Skool. Don't just watch YouTube videos. Don't just scroll and hope for a change. If you are serious, join my community and let's build together. Because this time is not about working harder. It is about thinking smarter. And once you start thinking like the top 1%, you will realize the real cheat code was in your mind the whole time. Watch this video that you don't think will be helpful to you next. Thank you for watching till the end. Peace. I'm gone.